Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. I'm going to be updating the media in relation to a number of arrests in relation to Homicide 4 for this particular year. And I'm joined with my partner, Detective Joy Schertzer, and Susan Spencer, who will be the spokesperson for the family. And the entire Spencer family is here as well. And they'll join her at the podium after my comments in relation to some comments from the family. So just by way of review, I'd like to just go back to the beginning and speak about the evolution of a challenging investigation. On Friday, the 20th of January of 2012, the deceased Anthony Spencer and some of his friends attended a recording studio at 799 Brimley Road in 43 Division. The studio was well known for up-and-coming rappers in that particular community. After midnight on January the 21st of 2012 at approximately 5 a.m., the Homicide Squad is alleging that the two accused men that I'll be speaking about in a few minutes robbed the deceased and his friends of their belongings. During that robbery, the deceased Anthony Spencer was shot to death. The two now accused men, in company with a female, fled the studio. The deceased was carried from the recording studio by his friends. They placed him into a waiting motor vehicle and they drove him to the Scarborough General Hospital. Upon arrival at the hospital, Anthony Spencer was deceased. The Homicide Squad started their investigation at that particular time. Yesterday, on October the 1st, 2012, one Samuel Paul, aka Sam G, or Sammy G, was arrested by the Homicide Squad at the Toronto West Detention Centre on a charge of first-degree murder and robbery while using a firearm. Also yesterday, the Homicide Squad attended the East Detention Centre in the opposite end of the city and arrested one Chever Ashley in relation to a charge of robbery with a firearm, jointly charged with Sammy Paul, and accessory after the fact to murder. Both accused men appeared this morning at the Scarborough Courts, located at 1911 Eglinton Avenue East, in courtroom 412, and they were ordered detained. Back on the 26th of January of this year, Chever Ashley was arrested with the assistance of the Gun and Gang Task Force for being in possession of a semi-automatic pistol, and he was charged with numerous related firearms offense. 4 days later, on the 30th of January 2012, Samuel Paul was arrested by the Gun and Gang Task Force, and he was also charged in relation to this same semi-automatic pistol that was recovered 4 days earlier. Both accused men have been in custody since that time on these joint charges. The firearm that was recovered by the Gun and Gang Task Force on that particular day with the assistance of the Homicide Squad has been examined by the Centre of Forensic Sciences, and it has been determined to be the murder weapon that was used to kill Anthony Spencer. Back in January of 2012, I indicated that a female was seen with the two accused men leaving the recording studio a short time after the homicide had taken place. She had made a phone call to a cab company. A cab arrived at this particular mall, and the three individuals left by taxi. At that time, I indicated to the media and to this individual that she had a difficult choice to make, and the choice was for her to decide whether or not that she was going to be loyal to the offenders or that she was going to come forward and assist the prosecution and assist the police in identifying the individuals responsible for the murder of Anthony Spencer. This young woman has made her choice, and as a result, a Canada-wide warrant is now in effect for one LaPrincia Palmer. She's 19 years old, and the warrant is for robbery with a firearm, and she will be jointly charged with Samuel Paul and Chever Ashley in relation to that particular count and attempting to obstruct the course of justice. I can indicate to Ms. Palmer in the strongest of terms that she should seek the direction of a lawyer and surrender herself. There's a tremendous amount of policing efforts that are going in to locate her. The world can become a very small place for somebody as unsophisticated as this young woman is, and I'm suggesting that she surrenders when she hears my words this afternoon. The United States border authorities have been alerted to her physical description and the charges that she's now facing. I can say with a great deal of comfort that the continued incarceration of Samuel Paul and Chever Ashley will have a significant, and I can't stress that enough, a significant impact on community safety within the Scarborough area as a result of their very violent disposition. The investigation of Anthony Spencer has been very active. It continues to be very active, and it will continue to be active into the future. I indicated to the Spencer family that I'll invite Susan up in the next few minutes to answer any questions, but at this point, I'll answer any investigative questions that I can, keeping in mind that the investigation and the integrity of that is of my primary concern.
Gary, are these gang members?
The two individuals, Samuel Paul is in association with the Wixon Trail gang, and Chever Ashley is an associate of Samuel Paul and an associate to Wixon Trail.
You said that their arrest will have a significant impact on the safety. Do you believe they're involved in other shootings aside from that of Anthony Spencer?
I believe that they live a very violent lifestyle, and as I indicated to you, that their incarceration will prevent other people from being victimized by them.
There's speculation about the motive for this. There was speculation about possible rap lyrics, but has that been eliminated now? It's just a straight up robbery here?
You know, my understanding is that it's quite traditional for rappers, you know, and I've embedded myself within this culture for the last 10 months, but it's not unusual for rappers to make, you know, perceived disrespectful comments in their various songs, but this is a robbery-based homicide investigation, and it's quite plain and simple.
Why was Mr. Spencer shot during the robbery then? Did something go wrong? Did he fight back? Can you elaborate?
I can't, based on the narrative of what went on inside, but I save it to say that all of the individuals who were present were the victim of robbery, and the homicide of Mr. Spencer was the end result.
The accused in this crime, were they known to police before their arrests in January?
Both these individuals are very well known to the police.
Were the friends who were with him, did they ever come forward and cooperate with the police?
I knew that would be a question. The difficulty is that I'm maintaining the integrity of the investigation. There are some security concerns in relation to these individuals, so that area of the narrative I'm going to avoid answering based on the fact that the case is so active and that we're moving forward on a prosecution at this point.
Did the victim know any of the accused before this happened or at the time this happened?
The deceased would have known Samuel Paul.
What was their relationship exactly?
Both the deceased and some of the individuals who are present with the deceased also rap, and they also attend this particular recording studio and have done so in the past, both of them.
Were they friends, acquaintances, can you say?
I wouldn't say they were acquaintances. I would say that they were individuals who were all involved in rap music and attending this particular studio to record their music.
Can you clarify, Detective, exactly how it happened? Were they all in the recording studio and then?
The shooting takes place within the recording studio. The photography comes from a nearby convenience store that's on the ground level, but the shooting is actually in an underground setting, and it takes place within the recording studio.
Were the suspects already there with them? Were they recording with them, or did they just walk in and shoot them and walk out?
No, they had been present with them through part of the evening, prior to the robbery.
The female suspect that you're looking for, what kinds of charges is she facing?
She will be jointly charged when she's arrested. She'll form part of the same information that Chever Ashley and Samuel Paul also face. So she'll be charged as a party to the robbery with a firearm and attempting to obstruct the course of justice.
Are you looking for anyone else at this point?
I'm sorry?
Are there any other suspects? Do you expect to make any more arrests?
I don't. In relation to the homicide of Mr. Spencer, there'll be no other arrests.
Back in January, you connected this case to 3 drive-by shootings in Malvern. Are these 2 gentlemen charged with those? Is there any breakthroughs in those drive-bys?
There's nothing that I can comment on. All I can say is that Superintendent Martin indicated that there was a investigative connection between these 2 incidences. And I can indicate to you that I did have a brief conversation with Superintendent Fenton. He's the officer in charge, the unit commander of 43 Division, and he had a significant, at the time, decrease in violent crime and shootings in his particular area as a result of the incarceration of these individuals.
Does Chever Ashley have a street name?
I only know him to be referred to as J.A.
J.A.?
Yes. So at this time, I'm going to ask Susan Spencer to come up and make a few comments, but I'll just ask you to do not ask Ms. Spencer about any evidentiary-based questions. Those are my questions to answer. Any other questions that she's prepared to answer if she can. Thank you, Susan.
Good afternoon. The Spencer family is happy to stand beside Gary as he announces that there is an arrest that has been made. We know that Gary and his team at Homicide have worked very hard these past 9 months to see proper justice for Anthony is done. Thank you, Gary. From the bottom of our hearts. I understand that this journey is far from over and that we will be entering into the next stages of this process. I'm hoping that an arrest will give courage to those witnesses who still haven't come forward to step up and do the right thing. We are praying to God to give them the strength to also stand beside Gary and share in a successful prosecution. My family would also like to thank the media for sending this message out to the public. We are encouraged and feel blessed by all the support that we have received. Thank you. My mother, my brother, my sister-in-law, and my father. This is Anthony's family. And also, he leaves behind a daughter, Trinity, that he loves dearly, and she misses her father. Thank you.
As your mom holds the picture of your brother, what do you want people to know about him?
That he lived his life to the fullest. When he was alive, like laughter. If anybody could brighten up the room, it would be Anthony. As you could see from the picture, that's him every day, all day. Anthony was just full of, he made his mark. When he was here, he made his mark. He's one of those people that stand out and had a purpose here. And he was trying to fulfill that purpose. He was raised by 2 great parents, and I say this because I'm a product of them, and I feel like I have the best teachers. They raised us with discipline, respect, and just family. Just the meaning of family is right here, and we're missing him dearly because we've been in mine prison with this whole situation. We're in our own prison where I've had to watch my parents deteriorate every single day, watch my mother, who was happy, and my father cry every day and have questions what happened to their son. So that's a person that's made his mark on his family, you know.
Did you left behind any children?
He has one child, a little girl. Her birthday was the other day, and she wanted her dad to really be there.
When Detective Sergeant Giroux and Detective Scherzer told you that an arrest had been made, can you describe what you felt and thought at that time?
I felt, thank God, no one else's children will die at the hands of this person, and maybe, you know, we can start to get a little more closure. It just kind of, it lifted a little bit. Just having a little bit of information is better than none. That's what I want to say.
Susan, what has it been like for you and your family for several months knowing that there were people who knew exactly what happened, who pulled the trigger in that recording studio, and they didn't want to help police, and some of them still don't want to help police?
Torture. Torture.
Have you had a chance to speak with any of his friends there, have a conversation about this?
No, I haven't.
Did you know Sammy too? Had you heard of his name before?
I don't, but I do now. Don't.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.